ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే నేర్చుకునే టైంలో ఒక్క లైన్ అందులో 4 పదాలు. ఓకే. దీనికి మళ్ళీ చెప్పడం, మళ్ళీ మనం ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వడం అంత అవసరం అనిపిస్తుంది, అంత ఈజీ అనిపిస్తుంది స్టార్టింగ్ లో. కానీ అదే 4 లైన్లు అయిన తర్వాత అదే కాంప్లికేటెడ్ అయిపోతుంది. సో ఒక లైన్ చెప్పినప్పుడు ఆ ఒక్క లైనే 10 సార్లు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసేసి, ఓకే. సో 4 లైన్లు అయ్యేసరికి ఈజీ అవుతుంది. ఓకే. లేదంటే కాంప్లికేట్ అయిపోతుంది. సో అందుకని నేను చాలా ఈజీ వేలో స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ వెళ్తున్నా. నాకు తెలుసు కొంచెం స్లో చేస్తున్నానని, స్పీడ్ చేయొచ్చు కానీ కావాలనే స్లో చేస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే కోడింగ్ అందరికి కొంచెం గ్రిప్ లేని వాళ్ళు కూడా ఉంటారు కదా, సో వాళ్ళకి కూడా సూట్ అవ్వాలని. ఓకే. మనోడు ఆన్ అది తీసింది బీకాము కానీ కాము ఉండదు, అంతే కదా.
నేను బీకో
పాస్వర్డ్ మీటింగ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఏంటి? డేట్ ఫైవ్ ఏదో ఉంటుంది మీటింగ్ పాస్వర్డ్.
854502.
ఒకసారి చెప్పండి. 854 502.
నేనా రాయలే రాయలే బోర్డు
మనం రాసుకోండి. 854 చెప్పు.
502.
Recording in progress.
Hello. Okay, previous class, what we discussed, the previous class, we discussed about how to create a variable. Okay, and we discussed two different data types. One is a string, another one is integer. Okay, string, with the string data type, we created a variable. With the string data type, we created a variable, and with integer data type, we created a variable, and we used system.debug. See how you have printf to display. Similarly, here we have system.debug. So this will help us to display whatever you want. Okay. So basically, this is a backend programming language. If you want to display on the page front end, then we need to write Visual Force page code or Lightning component code, and then you need to connect that code to this backend Apex logic. But we need to start from somewhere, right? You are in the learning process. If you start learning with the front end, then you cannot see the result, you cannot see the functionality, because you only layout you will see. You will see a button, but if you click, nothing will work, because it is just front end. So the ideal way to learn things is you should start with the back end, understand the functionality, okay, understand the business understand the technical aspects behind it. Then if you go to the front end, then what happens? The back end logic implementation you already learned. And then if you move on to the front end, then if you click on a button, it will go to the back end, and in the back end the process will execute and you will get the result. But till we start learning about the front end, we need to have an interface to see our output, right? So for that purpose, we are using system.debug. System.debug is basically used in real-time environment for debugging our code. Okay, so if you have written some code and you want to verify whether your code is working fine or is there any issue with the code, in that case we will write system.debug. Okay, so system.debug, using system.debug, if I am showing an output, okay, this is only for developer convenience. This is only for you to verify whether the functionality that you have implemented is working fine or not. To the end user, we will not show this kind of display. See, now you are seeing this page, okay? This is the standard Salesforce page, right? Standard Salesforce setup page. And if you click on one particular tab, then you are seeing the standard Salesforce accounts tab. Okay. Inside that accounts tab, if you click on new, then you will see the account page layout, right? But here, if you don't want all the header, if you don't want the sidebar, only if you want to allow the user to only see the contact details, you don't want all these things. You just want to show him only this one. Only if he clicks save, he can save. If he clicks cancel, again it will show this one. So in that way, if you want, then you will write a new visual force page as per your business requirement. Okay, so if you want to follow the standard structure given by Salesforce, then you will go ahead with the standard, page layouts that are provided to us by Salesforce. If you don't want this standard layout, and if you want to have your own custom, front end view, wherein here I want to show a big heading, okay, and then I want to show some images, background color, background images, so many things I want to do, then in that case you need to write code. Either that will vary which one is suitable. Like these are different front end languages that we have, like Visual Force Page, or you can do with the Lightning components, or you can do with the LWC components. So first our focus is to understand and learn the backend business, backend logic. So to understand the backend logic, we are writing the code, but we should have something to see, right? So that is the reason we are using system.debug. System.debug is only for developer convenience. System.debug, you should not show output in the form of system.debug to the end user. Okay, because end user will not go to the code and he will not click on execute. He will follow a business process. He will follow some steps, like by giving the details, he will click on save, or he will click on a button which is visible. So end user will not see the code. Okay, end user will see the business flow as per their business requirement. Okay, fine. So now, so now, if I want, I if I want, what I need to do, I need to write the code in Apex class. Okay, file new Apex class. I need to create a new Apex class. Inside that Apex class, I need to write the code and I need to save the Apex class code. But you don't know what is Apex class. We will go to that Apex class. If you want to write an Apex class, if you want to write an Apex class, first you need to understand what are the things that are present inside an Apex class. What is a class? First you need to understand what is a class. Okay? And what are the components that are present inside a class. So we will discuss step by step each small points, then we can go to the next class. So now we want to discuss small things. For that small things also, you can create an Apex class first, and inside that I can write one line. But I will explain about the line which is present inside. I will not explain about the class. Now at that time you will get confusion. So that's why I am writing my code directly exactly which line I am interested. I am writing that code in the, under debug. Okay, under debug. Open execute anonymous window. Inside this one, I am writing the code which I like, and that single line I can execute. Okay, without saving. Okay, without saving any code, I can execute this single line or multiple lines as per my requirement. This is only for developer convenience to verify whether my code is working fine or not. Okay, so this is not the way you are going to show your end user. Okay, to reach that point, first we need to learn bit by bit. So that's why we are starting and writing our code here. Okay, so now is everyone clear why we are writing our code here? Okay, so in real time also, whenever you want to verify something, you will just write it here, verify it. But the actual thing, you will write it in an Apex class. Okay, fine. So what I want to do, I want to create a variable and I want to see the output. Okay, that is what we have done yesterday. So without creating variable also, directly if I write system.debug, okay, and inside this if I put some text, this is first line of my code. Okay, can I execute this? Yes, because I am writing this inside the anonymous window. Inside anonymous window, that's why I can execute this single line of code. Okay, but if you want to write the same thing in an Apex class, then it should satisfy all the properties that a class should have. What is a class? A class is nothing but a combination of data members and data methods. So it should have at least one method. Class, if you want to define, it should have at least one method. So first you need to understand what is class, what is method. So that is the reason I have not written inside a class this single line. I am directly writing here in the anonymous window. So now you should be capable enough to open this developer console. See my screen. You are on you logged into Salesforce. Okay, and go to your name. Under that, you can go to developer console. Okay. You may ask me, sir, how to go if I am in Lightning. Go to Lightning. If you are in Lightning, also I'll show you. If you are in Lightning, the first thing is where should I write the code? Everyone should have that confidence. Okay, everyone should be clear on that one. Later you can write the code. Okay. So in Classic, under your name, you will go and click on developer console. Okay. Fine. In Lightning, let's see. In Lightning, okay, I am on Lightning, right? This gear symbol is there, right? If you click on the gear symbol, setup, service setup, developer console. Okay. So from here you can come to developer console. If you click on this, exactly the same window will open. Okay. Even you can come from Classic, even you can come from Lightning. Okay. Right? Anyway, you need to go to developer console, and this is how the developer console will look. Okay, this is how the developer console will look. So, if you do lot of things inside developer console, sometimes what happens is all these logs will be filled. Okay. First of all, let's try to understand what are the different things that are present inside developer console. First thing is file. So under file we have new. Okay. Under new, if you go here, we can create an Apex class. We can create an Apex trigger. We can create a Visual Force page. We can create a Visual Force component. Visual Force page is a complete page. Visual Force component is a reusable component. We can combine multiple Visual Force components and build one Visual Force component. For example, this is a Visual Force page. There you are showing your address. Okay. And this is another different page, completely different page. There also you want to show the same address. Then there are two ways to do this. First write this complete page, then write this complete page. Or only for address you create a component, you write the remaining content of the page and reuse that component here in the first page also, in the second page also. If you have such requirements, then you will use the Visual Force component. Static resource, like see, Visual Force has some limitations. Like first what I told, first thing what I told, if you want to happily enjoy with whatever Salesforce is giving, that layout, that color, that style, everything, if you are happy, then you will go with the standard Salesforce outlook. Or, I mean, standard layout, that page layout that Salesforce is following. But if you don't like it and if you want to give your own one, you can customize it through Visual Force page. But Visual Force page will not give you that flexibility. See now today if you open any website like IRCTC or any Book My Show or any website if you open, see how colorful those websites are. Okay, so many interactive things are there in that website. If you just put your cursor, something will come up. Okay, so many interesting things are there in the website. So such interesting websites cannot be created through Visual Force page because Visual Force page has some limitations. It can allow you to create only this kind of color, only this sky blue color, similar kind of pattern only will come. If you don't want that, then you can write your custom CSS, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and if you want to use those HTML, CSS, JavaScript, if you want to embed them inside your Visual Force page, so for example, if you go with the CSS, we have three ways in which you can implement CSS. Inline CSS means you write some code, inside that only one line of CSS code you will include, inline CSS. Okay, internal CSS. So what you will do, you will write code, 100 lines of code, and in that you will start as a style and end as a style. For 10 lines you will write only style related information. Remaining things, actual content you will write. So that is internal CSS. In some cases, the CSS is so complex and you need to reuse the CSS at multiple different times. So then you will write an external CSS. Okay. And similarly, if you have some complex JavaScript that you want to implement on this Visual Force page, then in that case also, you have a separate JavaScript file and you are including that file into your Visual Force and you are using that. You can reuse that multiple different times. Okay. If that is your scenario, then you will create a static resource. Okay. Static resource is nothing but inside static resource you can save a document and you can refer that static resource document inside your code wherever you want. Okay. So that is the meaning of static resource. And lightning application. If you want to write lightning components, okay, you can display the lightning components either on the lightning application or on the standard Salesforce page, or there are like you inside another lightning component or inside another lightning web component, like under a tab you can display, like there are different places where you can display a lightning component. So lightning application is one such thing under which you can display your lightning component. Okay, so when we go to the lightning classes, then you will get clear picture about this. Now I'm just giving you outline about the developer console, what are the different options. Next, we have the lightning component. If you want to build a new lightning custom component, then you need to click on this and you need to create. Next, lightning interface, lightning event, lightning tokens, all these things advanced, we will look at them later. So now, the first thing from where we will start is we will go to new and create an Apex class. Okay, that's what we are going to do. That also we will do in our further classes, not today. Next, open. Using this open, what you can do is you can open any of the existing Apex classes, any of the existing Apex triggers. You can open any of the existing Visual Force pages, Visual Force page components. You can open any of the existing objects. You can open any of the existing static resources. You can open any of the existing packages. So this is how you open. Okay. If I want to open something, click on it and you will see all the classes here. In that, if I want to open one specific class, then I need to click on open. Okay, click on open or double click. Anything will open. But these are quick labs related classes. These are not written by me. These are managed package. So I cannot modify managed package classes. So either you can go to open or open resource. Open resource will give it in a different way where all resources, whether it is object class, everything, directly you can search for the resource that you are looking for. It can be a class or trigger or object, whatever it may be, like component, whatever it may be. So if you are clear about what you are searching, like if I am searching only class, so then you can go to classes and search. Here you can type the name of the class and you can click on search. Okay? Type it like if I want to search an Apex class with the name str, for example. Str with that name, there is no Apex class, that's why it's not displaying. If there is some class with that name, then it will display. Like this, I can search. Okay. If I know what I am searching, like classes, triggers, pages, then specifically I will do this one. If I don't know what type of component it is, directly I'll give the name. With that name, whatever things are present, whether class is there, object is there, page is there, lighting component is there, whatever it may be, all those things will be displayed. And from here, whichever thing you like, you can double click on it or you can select it and you can click on open. Then that particular thing will be open. Okay. So in this way, we can create a new code or we can open the existing code. Okay. Fine. So next, edit. Inside edit, you can find and replace or search in files. You can find a particular word. You want to search whether this word is used in which class or which method. Like that, if you want to search for certain things, you can search for those things. Or if you want to replace those things, we can do under edit. And a debug, under debug, we have open, execute anonymous window, execute last. Or among these things, main important things that you need to know is the first option, open, execute anonymous window. Every time we will click this and inside this we will write our code and we will click on execute. This is one thing. Second thing is here, if you execute multiple codes multiple times, for every code that you execute, logs will be generated. So if logs are more, then it will impact the performance of this developer console. Developer console may stuck, it may not react properly. So what you need to do, currently there is no log because I have not executed anything. If I execute something, I will get a log. Okay. For example, if I open anonymous window, here inside this, if I write, for example, system.debug, okay, inside the bracket, I am putting some text. Okay, I am putting some text, and if I execute this, okay, whenever you are writing some code here, if you click on, you can do two things. You can just click on execute. Then what happens? If there are if there are multiple lines, if there are multiple lines of code in this, and in this, if I want to execute all the code from the starting to end, then I need to click on execute button. Okay. If I want to execute only certain lines of code, I don't want the entire code to be executed, then what I can do, I can select that specific line what I want to execute and I can click on execute highlighted. then only this part will execute. Okay. And when you click on this execute or execute highlighted, execution will happen. Once the execution happens, let me click on execute highlighted, sending request. So request will be sent. And what happens? See here. User Naresh ID. Who is executing that username and application? This is not related to any application, so that's why it is giving unknown. Operation, what I am doing, services, data, V8 tooling, execute some operation. Okay. And here time. So this is the time I executed. The status, there is no error in this execution, it is successfully executed. So this is what I am seeing. Okay. So all this read, whether I have whether I write this or not. Okay. Okay. If I have seen this log or not, that you can see. Unread, read. Okay, you can see. Size, what is the size of the file that got generated after the execution? So all this information you can see here. So now execution log. Okay. So if I double click on this, then this particular log is opening. Okay. And inside this log, we can see all the details of the execution. Okay. It's loading. Inside the log, we can see all the details of the execution. It is saying user information. Who is the user? See, this is my user ID and this is my user name. And see, this is my time zone. Okay. So all these information, user information is there. Okay, see, execute anonymous effects. From where I executed this. If I am executing this from an effects class or effects trigger, that information will be given. How many bytes of heap size has been allocated? Heap size is the size of memory space that will be allocated for a specific transaction. So we have done one transaction. For that single transaction, how much amount of heap size we utilized. So all this information, heap allocate, heap, so all these things. Next statement, uh, heap allocate, debug. See, debug is the statement which can give the text message or output that we want to use for our debugging purpose. Okay. So here I am using the debug. Inside debug I have written this is my second code. Okay. Only that line I executed. First line I have not executed because I use highlight execute. Okay. And here you can see the limits, like number of SOQL queries I used 0 out of 100. So maximum you can do 100 SOQL queries within a single transaction. Out of that I have not used anything. Okay. Out of query rows, maximum 50,000 rows I can query and get the data. Out of that I have not queried not even a single record. Number of SOSL queries, 20 I can do within a single transaction. I have not done anything. Number of DML statements, I can do 150 DML statements within a single transaction, but I have not done anything. So if you have done anything, so those things will be displayed. So every information will be clearly provided inside the logs. So if you want to learn any language, you need to understand two things. One thing, the syntax, how to write the code. Second thing, if you execute the code, whether the code written by you or whether the code written by someone else, if you execute the code, after the code execution, some logs will be generated. You need to you should be capable enough to read the log and understand the log. Okay, that is also very much important. Only if you know that, only if you have that skill to read and understand the log, then only you can identify where the error is and you will be able to solve the errors. Alright. So now what I have done, I have opened this open execute anonymous window, and here I clicked on either execute or execute highlighted, then it got executed. Okay, so let me do this again. This time I want to click on execute. Okay, this time I want to click on execute. See, when I click on execute, what is happening? Sending request, and here I got one more line. Okay, in this one, which one is new, which one is old? How can I see? This one is red, this one is unread. So unread one is the new one. Okay, getting my point? So among this, the top one will be always the latest one. Okay. If I want to see this, what I need to do, I need to double click on this and I can see these details. But here I don't want to see all these details. I want to see only the two lines information which I have. Uh, so debug only I need to select. If I select debug only, only the debug statements will be displayed. All other statements will not be displayed. Okay. So how this is useful, we will see. Okay, let me close this again. Go here, open. And what is happening when I click on execute? One line is coming here and I am double clicking on it. Then a log is opening. But instead of that, as soon as I execute, I want the log to be opened automatically. So that is the reason I am checking this checkbox to open log. So if I do this, what happens? If I click on execute, after this, automatically the new log will be generated and it will be opened also. You no need to double click, one click we can save, okay, directly it will open. That's why you check that checkbox. Okay, and now here if I click on debug only, now these two lines output I am seeing. Okay, now is it clear till this point? So now these lines, how they are helping us? How they are helping us in understanding whether my code is working fine or not. That one I will explain. First of all, if I put string, okay, name equal to Suresh, okay. If I just keep this, then what happens behind the scenes? If I just execute this, will it execute or not? Yes, it will execute. System debug. That's right. That's right. System debug is not mandatory. See, what I have given a variable with the name Suresh. See, inside the variable assistance, you can see the name of the variable is Suresh, and inside the variable name is name, value is Suresh. Okay, you can go through the log and you can see the variable under variable assistance into which variable what value you have given. Okay, so let me close this again. So actually, when you execute this, okay, it is getting executed. But if there are so many variables, then it's really difficult for you to go through the entire log and check whether proper value is there inside the variable or not. Because see, initially string name equal to Suresh I have given. Next, name equal to Rajesh. Okay. After that, name equal to Mahesh. After that, name equal to Harsh. If I have given all these things, okay, then what happens? Every line will execute. Every line will execute, and at the end, finally, this name will remain. Finally, okay. If I want to verify whether this line is executing, this line is executing, this line is executing, this line is executing. Okay. If I want to verify, just if I click on execute, what happens? What happens? Here, see here, variable, here variable assistance, variable assignment. Okay. Under variable assignment, you are seeing all these things, and finally, you are seeing this. See here we have only one variable and that variable 4 times we are giving value. Now it's easy to go through and understand. But if you have so many different variables and at different places you are changing its value, it's not that easy to go through this entire log and understand. So this debug statement helps us in an easy way to see and understand. Okay, so if I write only single debug statement, if I write only single debug statement at the end, system.debug, the values stored inside name is, okay, if I write this text, after that if I give plus, and after that if I use the variable name, then what happens, if I execute this, then what happens if I execute this, and if I click on debug only, I can see the value stored inside name is Harsha. Why I'm getting only this last value? Because first of all it stored Suresh only. Then it replaced Suresh with Rajesh. Then it replaced Mahesh with. Then it replaced Harsha. Finally, Harsha is getting displayed. So if I show this here, then what I can see exactly in this line what execution happened. If I want to see, so wherever I want to see what happened inside the execution, in that place I will put the system.debug. System.debug, if I put here and if I put here, then what happens? Okay, then what happens? After each variable allocation, I will get the system.debug result. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear till this point? So now you understood what is developer console. Inside that, where we are going to write code. Why we are writing code there only? Okay, we understood the reason. And here, so now I have written some code and I executed. Okay, follow here, guys. Please look at here. I have written some code and I executed it. So now what happened? If you see, so many logs got generated. If I execute, keep on executing like this, what happens? Lot of logs will be generated. So if I want to clear these logs, then what I need to do again? You go to debug. Under that clear option will be there. If you go to log panel, click on this, then all the old logs will be removed so that you can execute again and it will work perfectly. Okay, now do this what I have done without seeing. I want you to do.
పడుకో పడుకో
ఏమన్ ఎవరికన్నా జాబ్ కావాలంటే సేల్స్ పొజిషన్ ఎక్కడంటే వేస్ట్ మార్కెట్కి తెలుసు సికింద్రాబాద్ అవతల సికింద్రాబాద్ తెలుసు కదా
తెలుసులే సికింద్రాబాద్ తెలుసు
దాని అవతల ఈవినింగ్ 6:30 నుంచి మార్నింగ్ నైట్ షిఫ్ట్ 3:30 వరకు 15,000 to 20,000 ఇస్తా. ఓన్లీ బాయ్స్ రిజ్యూమ్స్ ఉంటే పంపు నాకు.
అంటే చూసి
నేనే చేస్తున్నా, స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నా. అండ్ నాకు రియాక్ట్ చేస్తున్నా జాబ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ రావాలి, ఇంగ్లీష్ ఒక్కటి వస్తే చాలు. డిగ్రీ ఇంటర్ కంప్లీట్ అయినా ఏం కాదు, డిగ్రీ ఏదైనా ఏం కాదు, బీటెక్ అయినా ఏం కాదు, ఎవరైనా ఏం కాదు.
ఏంటో చెప్పడానికి వచ్చిండే ఇది. జస్ట్ మ్యారేడ్ వెల్లో పెట్టిండంటే ఏదో స్టార్ట్అప్ నైట్ షిఫ్ట్ కావాలంట, సేల్స్ బాయ్స్, ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తే చాలంట, 15 to 20K ఇస్తాడు. వీడే పెట్టిండు ఇప్పుడు, పెట్టిండంట అంటూ.
శాలరీ అట్లా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అర్థం కాదు. స్టార్టింగ్ కదా 15 to 20K అంటుంది. అసలు అతని గురించి చెప్పకుండా సేల్స్
అదేం చెప్పాలి స్టార్ట్అప్ పెట్టాలని అంటే స్టార్ట్అప్ పెట్టాలంటే ఇవన్నీ నేర్చుకుంటారు అని స్టార్ట్ చేసి స్టార్టింగ్ స్ట్రింగ్ అట్లా అవుతుంది స్ట్రింగ్కి ఇప్పుడు ఒక స్ట్రింగ్ లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటారు ఇప్పుడు స్ట్రింగ్ నేమ్ రాసుకుంటారు ఇవన్నీ మనం ఇచ్చేవన్నీ స్ట్రింగ్స్ నేమ్స్ కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటుంది సిస్టమ్ డీబగ్ లాస్ట్లో ఇస్తే ఇవన్నీ స్ట్రింగ్ కింద కన్సిడర్ అవుతుంది అదే సేమ్ నేమ్ దాని తర్వాత ఇంటీజర్ ఇస్తే మళ్ళీ ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది
ఎందుకంటే వేరే వాళ్ళు
క్యాప్చర్ చేయదు అది ఎయ్ అయ్యాయి లొకేషన్ అయ్యాయి
Shashank, what is your doubt? Timestamps not matching.
అయ్యాయి
It will match
బ్రో
because we have executed multiple times. See the
అది
latest
లాక్
one.
చేసుకో
The latest one will be on the top. So that's why I told you to clear the logs. Before your execution, you clear the log and then you execute, then you will see only one, then you will get clear picture. Okay? చూసారా ఒక్క లైన్ ఎంత ఈజీ మీరు చూడకుండా రాయండి అన్నప్పుడు ఎలా అనిపించింది అందులోనే బోల్డ్ కనిపిస్తాయి అందుకే చూపిస్తే ఎవరైనా రాయేస్తారు అందుకే చూడకుండా రాయండి సార్ చూడకుండా రాయండి నో సిస్టమ్ ఎస్ సిస్టమ్ అని టైప్ చేసి సిస్టమ్ డాట్ పెట్టి డీబగ్ అని కొట్టగానే వచ్చేస్తుంది అది ఆటోమేటిక్ గా అయితే నీ సిస్టమ్ స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు రాసావు SYSTEM నువ్వు సిస్టమ్ స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు రాస్తే ఎవడేం చేయగలడు
అలా బీకామ్ దగ్గర
స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు రాసింటావు
బీకామ్ తీస్తున్నావు
స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు రాస్తే మరి పని చేయదు సిస్టమ్ స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు ఉంటుంది నాకు తెలుసు నేను అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చిన సిస్టమ్ స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు రాస్తే నాకు కనపడలేదు ఎంత అవుతుంది అనేది సిచ్యువేషన్ చెప్తుంది మనం చెప్పలేము చూడకుండా రాస్తారంతా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేశారా అవుట్పుట్ చూసుకున్నారా ల్యాప్టాప్ లేదా
సార్ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుందంట సార్
నేనేం చెప్పట్లేదు స్వామి
సాగొట్టేస్తున్నారు సార్ శశాంకుని ఇంకో ఎవరు గాయత్రి దేవి అంట
See, when I am speaking, I am speaking. When I don't want to speak or when I don't want to, then I am just keeping myself on mute. It's not voice breaking. Okay? I am keeping on mute because someone here asked it out and I am helping them. If you have any doubt, let me know. Whether you have completed, okay, whether you have completed creating that one particular line which I have told you, okay, so now you know what is a variable, what is a data type, and you know how the system.debug works, what is the purpose of it. In a real-time project, whenever you are writing code, you will write system.debugs at many places. You will see when it is working perfectly fine, then you will remove the system.debugs. Because system.debug is just for our verification only. Okay? Okay? As a coding best practice, we should remove all the system.debug statements that are present in your code before moving your code to production. Okay? This is the standard. Okay? Even if you keep it, nothing will happen. But if there are so many system.debugs, then that may cause some issues. Okay? So it's advisable to remove all those lines whenever possible. Okay, fine. So till this point, all of you are clear. Okay, you know how to write this line. Okay. So now let's move on slowly to the next thing. Okay. We completed everything. Understanding the flow concept. Okay. Collections we will discuss in detail later. Okay, variable we have discussed. Now we have seen only string data type, right? So there are so many other data types that we are going to use in our Apex programming. Okay. So now let's see what are the other data types that are present. Okay. So now let's go with the Boolean. Okay. So let's go with the Boolean. Now Boolean is the data type. I want to create a new variable. Okay. And my variable is okay. 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 So this is the variable name I have given. Okay. RUA point. Answer can be true or false. Yes or no. But beyond this, can you give any other answer to this? No. Either you will say yes or you will say no. That's it. Right. So for such kind of values, if you want to store a value for which the result is true or false, then you will choose Boolean data type for that. Okay. Equal to, I can give either true or false. For example, if I have given true, okay, then system.debug. Okay, so now if I execute this illegal assignment from string to boolean, why I got this error? Because if I put it in quotation, it is thinking that it is a string. So remove the quotations, and if you give true value directly, then it will take it as a boolean value. If you click on debug only, it is giving me the answer RUA by true. Okay, and here if I change the value from true to false, then what happens? My result will be false. Okay, my result will be false. Okay, fine. So here we are giving a variable in this way, right? Why I have given underscores in between? All those things. Like there are some naming conventions you need to follow while you are creating a variable. Okay, I will tell you all those naming conventions, but before that, you can give any simple thing here, any name. Okay, just give a text. Don't give space in between. If you want to give space in between, just give underscore. Okay, so till that point you follow now. We will go in depth into what are the different ways you can give and what are the different ways you should not give. Okay, about the naming convention. For now, our focus is understanding the Boolean data type. Now, three data types we covered. string data type we covered, integer data type we covered, boolean data type we covered. Okay. So now you do it on your own. Create a variable. See my words. Create a variable with a boolean data type. Okay, and provide a value to that variable, and using system.debug display the value inside that variable. Okay, is my question clear? And for my question, what I need to do? I need to do this one. Okay, so if I do like this, then what will happen? Tell me. See my screen once. You see my screen once. If I write like this, then what will happen? If I write like this, will it execute or it will it throw error? First tell me that.
Execute.
See, I am giving a variable and I am giving the data type of the variable, but I am not giving the value to the variable. See, if I give only the variable and if I specify, if I don't give boolean, okay, then it will throw error. No doubt. Because it doesn't know what is this word. Okay, so I need to give variable data type. Okay, whenever I am creating a variable, I need to provide the data type. Okay, that is mandatory. And value is not mandatory. If you want to give value, you can give. If you don't give value, what happens? You don't give value, what happens? It is throwing null. It is throwing null. If you don't give any value, the value that is present inside is null. So null is the default value that will be present in every variable if you don't specify any specific value. Okay. So if somebody asks you what are the values that you can store, what are the values that you can store inside an integer, then you can give the answer like, I can give numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that you can give. But if someone asks you what are the values that you can store inside a boolean along with true, false, null is also there. Okay, every variable will have null before you provide some value to it. So previously what I have done here, I have done equal to, this is what I have done. I can do this, instead of this, what I can do is provide the data type, give the variable name, that's it. And in the next line, I want to assign a value to this variable. I can do this way also. Okay. So what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two? If I do this one, this is known as variable declaration. If I do this one, this is known as variable initialization. Okay, initial value. So if I want to create a variable and if I don't want to provide a value, just if I create a variable, that is known as variable declaration. If I create a variable, along with that if I give a value to it, then it is known as variable initialization. Means you are creating a variable, along with that you are giving a initial value to it. So if I give initial value like this and later if I change the value, then what happens? Now tell me what will happen. First, are you able to understand what I have written? Okay. Initial value is this one. Later, I am assigning a different value to this. Initial value, after providing this value, I am writing this line, so it will show me the output as true, and here it will show me the output as false. Let me execute. If I execute, see, I am getting it. Okay. Now take this. You create it on your own. This one you create it on your own. Okay. You can give this variable name anything. You can give any variable. Boolean data type can hold only true or false. So give true or false as the value. Variable name can be anything. Okay? Give any name, but inside variable name there cannot be any space or special character. It should be text. It should be alphanumeric and it should start with a alphabet. Without seeing this, if you want to see it once, if you want to see it once, but write it without seeing. I am closing it. Write it without seeing.
రాయరా అందులో ఉన్నారా కోరుకుంటా రాయరా
పక్కన కూర్చోండి, తమ్ముడు ఉంటాను. పక్కన కూర్చోండి, అప్పుడు స్క్రీన్ చూడడానికి ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. కాపీ కొట్టి కొట్టి ఆ ప్యాటర్న్ అలవాటు ఏంటంటే ఎట్లా చూపించుకొని రాసుకోవడం. యాక్చువల్లీ నేను సిలబస్ ఫాస్ట్గా కంప్లీట్ చేయాలనుకుంటే చెప్పుకొని నేను వెళ్ళిపోయి మీరు ఇంటి దగ్గర ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి అని ఇదే ఫాలో అవుతారు అన్ని ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్స్లో. నేను మీకు టైం ఇచ్చి ఇక్కడే చేయమని చెప్పడానికి రీజన్ ఏంటంటే ఈ కోర్స్ కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాత నాకు ఇది రాదు అని ఒక్క స్టూడెంట్ కూడా అనకూడదు, అందరూ వచ్చి అనాలి. అందుకోసం నేను చేస్తున్నాను. ఓకే, సో నేను ఇక్కడ చాలా టైం సాక్రిఫైస్ చేస్తున్నాను. సో ఈ టైంని కవర్ చేసుకోవడానికి మనం వీకెండ్ క్లాసులు ఇవి అన్ని పెట్టాల్సి వస్తుంది. లేదంటే నేను ఇవన్నీ చెప్పేసి మీరు ఇంటి దగ్గర ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి అని చెప్తే సరిపోతుంది మనకు టైం. మీ దగ్గర ఒకవేళ ల్యాప్టాప్ రెడీగా లేదు అనుకోండి, యాక్చువల్లీ ఐడియల్లీ చెప్పాలంటే మీరు ల్యాప్టాప్ తెచ్చుకోండి రోజు. ఓకే, ఒకవేళ లేదు అప్పుడు నోట్స్లో రాసేసేయండి. నోట్స్లో రాసేసేయండి. ఇప్పుడు ల్యాప్టాప్లో అయినా మీరు టైప్ చేస్తారు, నోట్స్లో అయినా రాస్తారు. నోట్స్లో రాసేసేయండి, మీరు ఏదైతే అనుకుంటున్నారో అది రాసేసేయండి. క్లాస్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఇంటికి వెళ్ళే కానీ ఇక్కడ కానీ వెంటనే అప్పుడు ల్యాప్టాప్లో అదే రాయండి. అప్పుడు ఎర్రర్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, మీరు రాసినట్లు తప్పు ఉంది, కరెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి ఎర్రర్. ఓకే, అప్పుడు రాసింది కొట్టేసి మళ్ళీ కరెక్ట్గా రాసుకోండి. ఓకే, quick. We will see another data type if you complete Boolean. Online, guys, if you have any doubts, let me know. Whether you are able to write it on your own. Creating a Boolean variable and displaying using system.debug. That is what I want you to do. గుర్తు పెట్టుకొని రాయద్దు, అర్థం చేసుకొని రాయండి. గుర్తుపెట్టుకొని రాస్తే మర్చిపోతాం మళ్ళీ విషయం కాదు.
సో ఓన్లీ బులియన్స్ లో న్యూమరికల్ వాల్యూస్ అవ్వ అవుతాయి. ఓన్లీ
మరి అదే కానీ చెప్తున్నాను దాని నుంచి
కండిషన్ ట్రూ ఆర్ ఫాల్స్
అంతే.
ఓన్లీ సింగిల్ వేరియబుల్ అవుతుంది. సింగిల్ వేరియబుల్ ఏ ఈక్వల్స్ టు సమ్
అవుతుంది. నువ్వు ఏదైనా ఇచ్చుకో వేరియబుల్ నేమ్. బులియన్ డేటా టైప్ లో ట్రూ, ఫాల్స్, నల్ ఈ మూడు తప్ప వేరే వాల్యూస్ ఇవ్వలేవు. వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ ఏ ఇచ్చుకో, బి ఇచ్చుకో, సి ఇచ్చుకో, ఏదైనా ఇచ్చుకో. అందుకే చెప్తున్నా. అదే చెప్తున్నా. ఒక్కసారి బులియన్ ఇస్తే అర్థం ఏంటి, ఈ వేరియబుల్ ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ వేరియబుల్ స్పెసిఫై చేస్తున్నావు. మళ్ళీ స్పెసిఫై చేయకూడదు, ఒక్కసారి స్పెసిఫై చేయాలి. తర్వాత కావాలంటే వాల్యూస్ ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు ఎన్నిసార్లు. ఓకే, వేరియబుల్ డిక్లరేషన్. Guys, all of you listen here once. See my screen also, all of you once. Here what I am doing, this line is known as variable initialization. Variable declaration means if I just write like this, this is known as variable declaration. I am just declaring the variable. So when you are declaring a variable, it is mandatory that you need to specify the data type of the variable. But whenever you are trying to assign a new value to the variable. You can assign it any number of times, but when you are using this variable second time or third time or fourth time, again you should not specify the data type. Only one time you will specify the data type. Whenever I am using this variable here, first time I specify the Boolean data type. Next time I am not specifying the data type. Okay. Here it is required, it is needed for the very first time you need to tell the system what type of variable it is. So data type you need to specify. If I remove this here, if I put it here, then what will happen? System will say I don't know this. Okay. See, if I execute this, I will get error. In line number 1, column number 2, illegal. So system don't know what is this. Okay, if I don't want these two lines and if I want to execute these two lines, selected and highlight executed, then it will execute because I am specifying the variable and then I am using it. Okay.
So while using Boolean, after operator we are placing only three values, either true, false, or null.
Yes.
Otherwise,
You cannot take. So that is the importance of the boolean. If you want to store true or false, then only use boolean data type. If you want to store 1, 2, 3, then go for integer data type. If you want to store some text, Ramesh, Suresh, Rajesh, something, anything. My name is so and so, I am from so and so. If you want to write all those things, then also you need to go for string. Okay?
Yes.
So now you understood the concept of data type, you understood the concept of variable, and you understood the concept declaration, initialization. Okay. You are completely done till this point. Okay. Write down notes. Variable declaration. Put the side heading variable declaration. Put the side heading variable declaration. Put the side heading variable declaration. Okay. If you want to in that write down, put the side heading variable declaration. If you want to create a new variable, if you want to create a new variable in Apex program, if you want to create a new variable in Apex program, first you need to declare that variable. 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 Okay. And the next point write down. The next point write down. Providing a variable name along with providing a variable name along with data type. Providing a variable name along with data type without specifying without specifying the initial value without specifying the initial value to that variable is known as is known as is known as variable declaration. Okay. Next point. Put the side heading variable initialization. Put the side heading variable initialization. Variable initialization. Okay. So you started the heading, side heading initialization. For the above one, write this as an example. Because here I am just creating a variable and I am not giving a value to it. Okay, that is example for the first one. Okay, after writing this example, then go with the side heading. This is the example for variable declaration. Okay, this is the example for variable declaration. Now put the side heading variable initialization, right? Okay, right. If you want to create a new variable by providing data type, by providing data type, by providing data type along with the initial value, along with the initial value, then it is known as variable initialization. Then it is known as variable initialization. Then it is known as variable initialization. Completed till this point. Now take this example which I highlighted. Only take this line. Take only this line. Only single line you take. First line only. Okay. Next, put the side heading. Variable assignment. Next, put the side heading. Variable assignment. Put the side heading. Variable assignment. Okay, right now. If you have already declared a variable, if you have already declared a variable, if you have already declared a variable, and now if you want to assign a new value, and now if you want to assign a new value to that existing variable, if you have already declared a variable, and now if you want to assign a new value to that existing variable, okay, it is known as variable, it is known as variable assignment. Okay, variable assignment. So now, okay, now what you will do is write this entire code, okay. After that, write the entire code and you put two forward slashes in front of it and name it as variable initialization. Okay, and this one is variable, not the last one, assignment. Okay, so now you understood there are three things related to variable. One thing is variable declaration, means you just create the variable, but you will not provide any initial value. If you are creating the variable and then and there itself, if you are giving the initial value, this is known as initialization. Okay. If I write string name equal string name, just if I write like this, okay, and below if I write name equal to Rajesh, okay, Then what will happen?
First one is declaration.
This one is known as variable declaration. This one is known as
Variable assignment.
variable assignment. Clear? Now, what is the difference between variable declaration, variable initialization, variable assignment? Okay? Because whenever you get any error, the error messages will contain these terminology. These words will be present in the error message. It will say that the variable has not been declared. Okay, you are trying to refer a variable which is not already declared. Like this, it will throw error message. If you want to understand that error message clearly, you should know the meaning of these words clearly. Okay, fine. Okay. So once this is done, I will give you a homework, and tomorrow I want all of you to complete that homework and come. Very easy homework. Okay. So now the homework is first complete it. Very easy homework.
నేను అప్లై చేసేది నేను అప్లై చేసేది
Think about some text information like name. It is a text, right? City is a text, right? Street is a text. Pin code.
Subtext. Number.
Ah, like that. You think of some variables and what is the appropriate data type for it. Okay. True or false if I want to show. Think of some examples. Okay. I want at least 5 for string data type. I want at least 5 for integer data type. I want at least 5 for boolean data type. 5, 5, 5. Create the variables, write system.debug and see the output. Okay. I want you to do it. Okay. 5, 5, 5. Very easy, right? Think of a variable, declare the variable, initialize the variable, assign the value to the variable, try these things also. Okay. In these three scenarios. So total 45. Getting my point? 45 lines. Okay. 45 lines without system debug. See, if I want to create a new variable name, okay, that is the variable name is the variable and it is of string data type. Okay, what I want to do is I want to just create the variable string name. That's it. That is one line. That is declaration. Okay, I want you to declare 5 variables with the string data type. Declare 5 variables with integer data type. Declare 5 variables with boolean data type. After that, assign a value to these. First you are writing in first line string name. In the next line you are writing name equal to Rajesh. Okay. Similarly, you do for all your 5 variables that you create. Okay. After that, what you need to do, you need to, this is a variable declaration and assignment combination, right? If you use initialization, then assignment is not mandatory. You can just directly initialize and you can use system.debug and display. Okay. Along with that, if you want to assign a new value to the existing variable, already I have given boolean are you a boy? This is equal to true means this is initialization. Already I have done initialization. On that, I am again doing variable assignment to change the value. So this and this also I want you to do. 5, 5, 5. Each one first for the first one 5, 5, 5. 15 lines. Huh? సేవ్ కాదు, ఇక్కడే రాయండి మొత్తం మొత్తం అన్ని లైన్స్. ఫస్ట్ ఒకటి రాస్తారు, తర్వాత అది అలాగే వదిలేసి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఈ 2 లైన్లు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తారు. హైలైట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్ ఇస్ దేర్, రైట్? సో రైట్ ఇట్ హియర్. But when you are executing, you execute only these lines. Ah,
అవుతాయంట్రా.
see, now let me close this. So, see, after I close again, I open it. Oh, it's there.
Serverly research చేస్తున్న some of the rest.
Even if you restart, that doesn't have any impact. When you log out from Salesforce, what is the last data that is present inside the system.debug, that anonymous window that will present? Okay.
Visual memory.
అదేదో రేపు వచ్చి ఇక్కడ
So I will verify tomorrow. Total how many lines? 90 lines code you are going to write. 90 lines code. Okay. So it's simple thing. How many lines we are able to generate? Okay. Do it and come back tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay. Is it easy coding? Tough? Now tell me.
To know is
If you do the homework on that day itself, it will be easy. If you postpone the homework for next day, it will be difficult. That's it. Simple formula. Today I am giving some homework.